Hello folks, I am Ed Overstreet. Welcome to the Night Sky Imaging YouTube channel, and I'm outside. Well, I'm actually inside, but outside the Smith Cassegrain is zeroed in on Jupiter, and the Wide Field Stellar View has been taking 240-second images of Caldwell 9, or I think SH2 155, or LBN 529. That's all the same target, and most people know it as the Cave Nebula. So that's where we are, and let's head out there and have some fun. Okay, we'll start with Jupiter. And, well, I said we were going to start with Jupiter. Let's head back out there. Oh, I lost my. What is it? This hasn't this hasn't been a problem all night. Now I've got logging on problems with my outside gear. Let's make sure this one's. Oh, splash top. Already opened it. I don't want to reopen it. Okay, well, this is the outside kit. PhD is guiding under 50.50, which is good, and the stars are 3434, which is spectacular for me. Doesn't get any better than that. That means my stars are going to be round and tight. And this is what we're imaging. It's the Cave Nebula. You're not going to see a whole lot here, so it's going to be one of those images that's going to take maybe 2 nights, 12 hours of exposure in HA, S2, and O3 to have something that's workable. And what I'm doing tonight is I'm taking HA, O3, and S2. I have already taken 18 HA, and I think altogether we have about 5 hours invested tonight, and I'll get 5 hours tomorrow night, probably 5 hours the next night, and if skies allow. And so I'll get close to 15 hours of exposure time before I even start processing this. I'll see how it looks after I get 10 hours, and that'll be, it might be fine. I don't know. But let's go back over to Jupiter, because I want to show you something very interesting about Jupiter. That, let's see, where are we? We're going to put Jupiter there. And let me move around some screens. Okay. I'm also guiding on Jupiter, and I'll show you why. It's not as good. It's 0.83, but as long as I can stay under 1, it won't jump around. It won't jerk during the imaging. And since I'm taking video that's going to be stacked, that's a good thing. So this dark spot right here is the shadow of a moon, and the moon is right here. This is hard to resolve, and probably harder on YouTube, but the moon's here, and this is the shadow that the moon is causing on the planet. I know what I can do here real quick. Let's let me go down here where, my goodness, I don't have any wiggle room. And here we go. I want to go to my other, neither one of those. Oh, I know what happened. I lost it. Gosh, this is going everywhere. National. All right, let's go back down here. Uh, where are you, Splashtop? There it is. I need to go to this workstation. Can't believe it closed on me. And there's a software program called WinJupose. Where? Oh, it gets down here. And I'll close this out so I can show you how to get to it. The first thing you need to do is if you want to look at a target that you're likely to be imaging and you want to see in real time what it looks like, open up WinJupose and go to Program Celestial Body and pick the target. Now I'm imaging Jupiter, so I would pick that and then go to Tools and check on the Ephemerades option. And then click on real time, and there's that Ganymede is the moon right here, and there's the shadow we're seeing. So in real time, this is what Jupiter looks like. This is a program I use to derotate my images when I take a number of them, and you have to account for the fact that Jupiter rotates once every almost 10 hours. So a string of AVI files over 20 or 30 minutes would be blurry if you stacked them. If it were not for the fact this software will derotate them so that you can stack them pixel on pixel after derotation. So let's head on out to we already saw and we already have seen what the cave looks like. Let's go out here to the moon, and I'm not going to be live long. Again, here's our shadow of the moon, and it's just about, it's rotating. This is north, this is south, and this is west, and this is east. So it's rotating west right now. And pretty soon you'll be out of the picture, and the great red spot will start coming around. Well, I don't know. Let's find out. That's another thing you can do with WinJupose if I haven't already shut it down. Yeah. Right now the time is 10:36. This uses universal time. I'm 4 hours. Minus this, so it's 10:36. Is that right? Yeah. So if you go advance ahead 10 minutes, then here's 11:36, and you can see the great red spot coming around. So at 11:36, you can see how fast it rotates every 20 minutes too. So this is going to be around 12:08 tonight. So at 8 minutes after 12, the great red spot's going to be in a pretty cool place. And this is an incredible tool. The Ephemerades is awesome to play around with. And you can do the same thing if you were going to be imaging, say, Saturn. And let's close this out. Let's pick Saturn, and then let's open up Ephemerades, and you have Saturn in here in real time, and this is what it would look like in the sky, and this would be the angle by which you would image it. And do I have, I don't know, do I have I done any, I don't know. I was trying to remember if I processed any of these images yet that I took yesterday. Let's see if any of these. This one was. And that's kind of how it's looking. Oh, too close. That's the angle that I'm seeing it now, and it's pretty much the angle that the software WinJupose is showing us. It's shifted a little bit, but it still takes that equatorial slant somewhat. So pretty cool. All right, let's go back out to Jupiter, and this is a live view of the big gas giant, and that is the shadow of Ganymede, the moon that's throwing a shadow from the sun. That's where the light's coming from, and it's I keep saying this. I need to rotate my camera so that this is north up, and this is south. But every single night I'm imaging, I'm saying, why don't you go out and rotate your camera? Well, I'll do it the first thing in the morning. And I really need to rotate it about 60 degrees maybe. I want it to come around this way and be a slight angle. So 45 degrees would put it right here. 60 degrees it's about 60 degrees. So I just didn't do it. And I get frustrated when I don't do the basics like that. You need to write myself a note, tie it to my finger. I'm correct. Too late. I am going to wait till midnight though, and set up an imaging session for Ganymede. We're going to start a capture session. We're going to call this Jupiter. We're going to take 2,000 frames. Not nearly the number we took last night. Scene is pretty decent. We're going to have an interval. Let's take 15 in this sequence, and let's get going. So we are now imaging, capturing right down here at the rate of 25 frames per second. And our good weather is going to be coming to an end this Sunday. And we're going to be getting clouds and rain, I think, Sunday night, Monday. But I have to photograph a football game this weekend. And it's going to screw up one night, probably Friday night. But I've been blessed to be able to get out and image for like 4 nights in a row. That's really good. So we've got one in the can. Let's process it. Let me minimize this, and let me minimize the guiding. Let me minimize my planetarium software. And let me bring up, what is it? All my icons. I lost all my bloody icons. I need auto staggered. Is that not on here? Nah. Sure, it's got to be. Really? talking to myself here. AutoStacker's got to be on here. Let's see if it's in the apps. Nope. Well, fiddle. I'm looking at my, I have auto-stackered on about everything else, so. Okay, I was going to process one and see what the moon looked like. Last night I took 10 AVI files, 10,000 frames each, and 20 Saturn, that was of Jupiter, and 20 Saturn, 5,000 frames each. I did about the same the night before. This is the external drive. See the 20th, the 18th, the 16th, the 15th, the 13th, the 12th. I've been able to image. That's good. That's very good. And I copied most of those over to a hard drive that's inside. And that's what I can do. Let's just why won't come on. Okay, let's go back over to this. Let's minimize WinJupos. We don't need nebulosity. Let's go to Saturn. Let's take one of these from the 17th. So let's bring up AutoStacker and let's open up from this PC, this drive from the 17th, Saturn, and let's bring up any one of them, doesn't matter, and we'll process one. And let's break this up a little bit. See if I can find some better music, background music. Hang on, Snoopy, hang on. Well, I think that's good. Well, all right. Let me go back to AutoStacker, and that's nope. Okay, normally I scrub through here looking for one of the cleaner looking. Use my arrow key. See if I can find some bands in here. Let me clear that out. Okay, let's go ahead and analyze this. These are my settings that I use for planets. I've got an inventory of solar images I've also taken, I haven't worked on. They're on this disk right here, this little red thing. It's a terabyte drive. It's pretty cool. Tell you what I'm going to do. Well, this has 5,000 frames. It looks like I'm going to save about 10% of these are 500. Let's go to 24. My reference boxes are going to be 24 by 24 pixels, close to the edge, and let's stack. So we're going to be looking for a folder that's called 10% or 10 for this image. On the 17th, it's done. So let's open up Registacks and let's go find it. What do we say? That's the 17th. So we got to go down to this drive. 17th. Saturn 10%. There it is. And there's the file. Okay, let's show the full image. I was kind of overexposed. I don't ordinarily do that. First thing we want to do is auto balance the color. Then we want to flip it. And I would say about 270 degrees. I like that. And then we're going to stretch it. Not much because it's awfully bright now. I want to drag this out to about 1.5. Come on, right there. And stretch. And now we're going to load. That was on the 17th. Load that process. And there we are. Gosh, that's noisy. Let's that's not good. Let's let's load the 18th. That's better. I'm going to run up the noise over here, particularly on the fine detail wavelets. And I need to drop the sharpening down. It's just a noisy image. That's what I don't like about it. So if I remember, it was a pretty decent scene. Yeah, it needs work in Photoshop. But that's what I would do. And then I would take it into WinJupose and close out this. And I would go to recording, image measurement. And let's go to open an image to the 7th and planetary 17th, Saturn 10%. Oh, we didn't save that. Daggone it. Let's go back to Registacks. Do all. And save. And we'll just call that set. Okay, so now we're going to, we don't need that. We can go now to open an image, and we got to go back to external drive, the 17th, Saturn 10%, and there it is. So we've got our Saturn, which isn't a good Saturn, by the way, but I'm kind of hurrying this along, and we need to go to adjustment, outline frame, and we want to click on center. Yep. And so it puts this over, and what you want to do is you want to move this so that This band is here, and so I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it over, down, and I'm going to use my page up to make it bigger, and page down makes it smaller, and then N and P rotate it, but it doesn't need to be rotated. The N key, just remember the N key and the P key rotated. The page up and page down make it bigger or smaller, and the arrow keys move the template either right, left for the arrow. And so that's what I would go back to image, and I would hit F2 or just click on save it somewhere. And if I took, say, 10 of these, then I would go into tools, down here, derotation of images, and I would I'd clear all of these, edit, and I would remove all, and then I would add the images, and here's some that I did, and I'll add those, and then you give them weights, and then you end up compiling an image, and I'm going to compile it, and it puts it together, and this is the image after 10 Saturns have been derotated and stacked. 10 AVI files, each was 5,000 frames long, taken with the 5,080 millimeter Smith Cassegrain. Now it's really a 2033, is that what it is? Smith Cassegrain 8-inch, and then I have a 2.5 times Barlow, which is a Telemate, PowerMate by Teleview. Can't talk. But anyway, I'm going to do just a whole video on how to use all the different parts of WinJuPost, because it's really good software if you're going to do planetary imaging. That's what it's for. And then also PIP is good software for you can resize or actually you can help auto stacker it along by using like PIP software to crop into your video. So it crops the video kind of like Castrator does, but unlike Castrator, PIP won't remove embedded date information, and that's something WinJuPost has to have. When you load a program, or when you load, let's see, we've got Saturn, okay. When you load an image, then right up here, the date you took it and the time you took it, minus 4 hours now, is important, because those 10 images are going to be about 5 minutes apart, and that's how it knows. It uses this time stamp to derotate these images so that they're one clean image without the blur that would have been caused by a 30-minute video that did not account for the rotation. Let's see if we still got a planet in our field of view. We do, and part of that's, I have a lot of drift in RA, right ascension. I have some in declination. Shouldn't, because I'm really, when I ran the guiding assistant, it looked like my polar alignment was under 1 arc minute, so I'm in pretty good shape polar alignment wise, and I ran it a couple times. Seeing is pretty decent tonight. Let's do this. We're still imaging, aren't we? Yeah. Let's go up to 125%. We've lost Ganymede's about right there, but the shadow is all but gone. And if I had started imaging this during the time that the moon is moving across the surface of Jupiter, I would have had to derotate it, or it would just be a black streak where the shadow was. So, and when you use a reference frame, you want to use the one that's in the center, provided it's got some pretty good detail. And when you're in WinJuPost, you do pick a reference, or you pick your best frame. You rank them. And again, I'll do a WinJuPost tutorial, and probably like on a Sunday night or Monday night when the rains come in my neck of the woods. But when I've got clear skies, I'm going to image the sun during the day. Benefit of being retired, well, with the exception of my sports photography, but the sun during the day and deep space and planets during the night. About the only two planets I image are Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And I guess I'm limited by my optics. The rest of them are like stars. They're so far away. Neptune, you get a little blue-looking kind of dot that's pretty tiny. I want to do something very quick here. I want to get here, and I want to minimize splash top. I want to go to telescope, sync. Yes, we're on Jupiter. And it moved it good. Let's get back to Jupiter. See what our guiding looks like. Well, we went from 0.70 up to 1.02, which is fine. And here's Jupiter in my crosshairs, and you see the moons. This is Ganymede here, and the moons of Jupiter, sorta. Isn't it amazing, though, that we can be here in our backyards with consumer purchased, consumer grade telescopes, cameras. I understand they're not cheap, but these optics aren't state of the art either. They're not high-end observatory optics, and the mounts are, well, I have the Skywatchers at EQAZ equatorial mounts. I use two of those, and then I have an advanced AVX mount by Celestron that the solar kit's set on for our imaging the sun, and it's really a pretty modest investment in an awesome hobby when you think about it, because there's no travel unless you want to go to a star party, but you can spend all this time in your backyard. You can invite your friends and family and neighbors to come over and enjoy it. Almost everybody is flabbergasted when they see these night sky images through optics an eyepiece, and you feel like you're just enveloped in the star field. It's just they're all around you. You have good eyepieces. The computer's one thing, and but a good visual system really just buries you into space, and you're just in the dark. You're just immersed in the dark void of space with stars that you feel like you could reach out and touch. It's quite an experience. You can do it year round, as long as it's not raining, snowing, sleeting. All hobbies cost something. An interesting thing about astronomy is that the software that most of us use is free. It was developed by smart people that do this hobby, and they wanted to figure out a way to accomplish captures and processing and how to keep your target pixel on pixel without it drifting during a long exposure imaging session. And they wrote software that runs the mounts, processes the images, and there is some cost with some of it, but a lot of it is at no cost. This software program right here is called SharpCap, and they have a free version of it. If you want the pro version, you really have to invest. It's $15 a year, and the updates are, there's probably an update every 2 weeks. Something's added. AutoStackert, it's a must for planetary imaging and solar imaging, free. Emil Krykamp developed it, and he's developing a new version. Registax, free. Deep Sky Stacker, free. Pip, free. Castrator, free. PhD2, which is this guiding software. This red line represents my declination, and the blue line represents my right ascension. Telescopes can move in 2 axes, declination and right ascension. In theory, if you're precisely polar aligned, you won't be moving in declination, only in right ascension, but that's in theory. And if the mount happens to drift, then the software sends pulses to the mount to bring it back on track. That's what these blue lines are, pulses sent to the right ascension aspect of the encoder to correct it. And it anticipates. When you use a hysteresis type of algorithm, it will kind of anticipate, based on past performance, what the mount's going to do, and it'll try to send a pulse in time to head it off before it goes too far. In bad seeing, it's kind of like driving a car down the highway going from ditch to ditch. You have kind of a saw where it's making a correction, it goes one way, makes another correction, overshoots, makes another correction. It's because the star's bouncing around due to bad seeing. And the mount thinks there's something wrong with the mount, so it's sending correction by software. Software thinks there's something wrong with the mount, and is sending corrections when there's nothing wrong with the mount. It's just the star is being influenced by thermal, heat waves, Atmospheric dispersion is the word used for it. It really is troublesome for long exposure guiding and planetary imaging, and lunar imaging too, and solar imaging. But for deep space, you can get by with some bad seeing and still get some good navigation. Speaking of that, we better head over to wrong. Well, what happened to my other telescope? So we're gonna have to find it. Let's see. Is it under? Yeah, there it is. Let me move this one to another panel, and let's bring this over here, and let me move this back up again. Now we can go over to it. There it is. Where are we at? Oh, we've already gone from HA to O3. We've got our 25. If you look at my filter wheel, you can see the O3 filter's been put up. It's already ran a focus routine, and here's the autofocus routine that it ran. This is the image, and we have a half flux radius right now of 1.03, and the mean is 889. Wow, that's awesome. Holy smokes. We do have some good seeing, and the lights and the nights are, if you go out right now and look up in my backyard, you'll see a lot of stars. It'll be a good night for a visual too. You'll see a lot of stars. Okay, let's see what else is cooking here. Oh, let's look at one of the O3 images. There won't be as much signal as there was with the H. Let's stretch it. Yeah, this is a heavy stretch, but it's there. That O3's there. I'll bring it out. Here's some here. Get 10 hours of, let's say we get 5 hours of O3, 5 hours of HA, and 5 hours of S2. And the O3 blue it's kind of a teal blue that shows up in the cave. Let's see, I know I've taken it before. Let's go to Astrobin. Let me sign in, and let's just look at SH2155. That's the cave. Don't have much working room. And hit enter. Well, that was a good Saturn. There you go. This is what I'm chasing right here. Yep, there's the blue that's in there. Hey, let me see if I got it. I go to my Astrobin page. I know I've taken it. Come on, populate. Oh, nope, that's not it. No, nope. Well, if I haven't taken it, I need to take it. This is the same thing. Set. No. Yeah. We'll go back. Go back. go back to our Jupiter. So, as I was saying 10 or 15 minutes ago, I'm sitting upstairs in a bonus room I've converted into, it's my man cave. And my wife absolutely totally insists that I have a green screen so people won't see how messed up it is. So I've got one behind me. I'm not using it. I have to turn on too many lights to use it right. And my dog lays at my feet, and he doesn't like to walk around it. So I'll use it in the daytime. Because you can, but I got lots of telescopes and two other mounts and set up. And on one side of the room, I have my photography equipment that I use for horizontal photography, and on the other side, I have my up stuff, vertical photography, I call it. And about the only horizontal photography I do anymore is I do a lot of sports photography still. About 100,000 sports photos a year I take. It's a lot. And I have for since 1999, went digital. Nikon went digital with the D1, D1H, D100, D2, D2H, D200, and they kept going. Now they've shut down. Nikon is no longer making cameras. The moon is, Ganymede is bulging a little bit here as it's about to, earlier tonight you could see when I first started and decided to go live, there was a nice shadow on the moon from Ganymede. I'll show you what that looked like if you just join in. Let's go back to program and celestial body, and we'll select Jupiter. Then we're going to go to tools, Ephemerades, and oh, the great red, no, it's real time. It's coming around though. But here's Ganymede right now. It's just about it's going to leave us. It's that bulge I was looking at. And if we go backwards in time, there was the shadow from Ganymede. But real time, in a few minutes, the great red spot will be coming across. And what time is it? It's 11:19. So in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'll have it. I'll be able to really identify it in 30 minutes. That will be about 20 to 12 or 10 to 12. Here comes Europa. And we'll have Ganymede out here and Europa on its way. Is that going to also throw a shadow? It might. Let's see. Yeah, it will. There it goes. So if I was gutsy enough to stay up to 4:30, 4:28, again, this is universal time, and I'm minus 4 hours, so it'll be 4:28. Probably 4. Yeah, that'd be a great image. Those three pockets and the moon. If you can't get the red spot, this is a great image of this planet. Okay, enough of Wingy Post. Let's open up. Let's see, let's go to yesterday, and I took some Jupiters. Let's open one of those. I think this is a 10,000 frame one. If it is, this is AutoStacker, and it's one of the free software programs. Okay, let's bring it up here so we can see it. Let's clear. That's pretty good. Let's analyze it. It's going to take it a while because it's going to analyze 10,000 frames. I haven't even gotten started yet. The rest of it will go fairly quick, but it's going to take 10 minutes to do that. So, bye. I don't want to hang around for that. Here's more oxygen coming. 3 down, 22 to go, and then it's going to change filters on me. And what time do we transit? Let's go to planning tools, and we're going to transit at 12:30, about right there. Right there. And then we're going to go, let's see how much time. I got 3 hours of imaging time remaining. 3 hours and 4 minutes plus an hour for dithering and focusing. So 4 hours. So let's see when we'll stop. We got 1 hour. Each one of these is an hour. So we got 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So I have plenty of time. I'm going to right click and stop it there anyway. It'll park the scope if it's not done at 4:20 and shut everything down. So I got right here, it's even checked it. It ends at 4:30 at 43 degrees. I really don't like to image too much lower in the sky than that. At 4 o'clock though, there's not as much heat bouncing off of the highways and rooftops. It's cooled some. It's been hot today in the upper 80s and tomorrow in the 90s. Then we got cold weather coming this weekend, and that's why the rain's going to follow it. So, bebop. So we'll go take a look at Jupiter again. There's Ganymede about to leave Jupiter, and we should start seeing Europa coming about down this way, and the red spot's going to be right here in this corner, sort of kind of developing now. Oh, sorry. I'm making it. Turn that music down a little bit. Now it's easy for me to see Ganymede leaving Jupiter, the face of Jupiter. I don't know what it's going to look like on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know. See, we have someone watching, so it's pretty special, isn't it? Hmm. These are the two telescopes that are imaging right now in my backyard. This one is on Jupiter, and this one's the one that's going to, in an hour, the weights are going to be horizontal, or the whole telescope assembly is going to be horizontal. It's going to flip automatically. I will probably be in bed by then. I have a lot to do starting early morning tomorrow. And covered with this telegizmo is the AVX mount that has quark chromosphere and a solar scout, two different solar telescopes riding tandem for solar imaging. Excuse me. Underneath are the two telegizmos that cover each of these. And I keep these out year round, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. I cover them up with the telegizmos. They stay dry. I do put up an umbrella, patio umbrella, a 9-foot one, and it covers them. Kind of keeps the sun from bearing down, and they're umbrellas that reflect the ultraviolet ray, and it's just really helping to protect the telegizmos from the sun. The scopes are fine. That's what's doing the damage. And we're back on the moon. Have we finished taking the 20 pictures? Let's see, this is the 20th. And we've got Jupiter. And here. Yep. We got everything. So I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to shut down this, and I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. And I hope you have clear skies in your neck of the woods.